Happy Thursday, America. I'm not real happy. Having some fun here. My hair decided to go insane today. Uh, Growing it back, it's going to be kind of funky for a little while. It's okay. I still got some. I want to talk to you about what's going on and why I think it's going on and what I think we can do about it, because I honestly believe we can do something about it. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you is there will be posted with the video 2 links. One is a PayPal link. One of them is an Amazon wish list. Things that'll really help out. I'm going to keep doing this for as long as I can. I don't know what's going to come of it, and I could sure use your support, not just showing up and listening, but I could use your help. And the things I want to talk about today, I could really use you doing. We need these things. But I titled this today that Trump was the killer and SCOTUS was the weapon. By the killer, I mean the murder of our Constitution, which is the bedrock of this nation. Without it, we don't have a nation, and apparently there's a lot of people out there that don't feel we really need all that. All we need is a good, solid dictator. Well, that kills democracy. Trump is the murderer, and SCOTUS was the weapon. On 7/1 of last year, in the court case Trump versus the United States, listed, however, 603 U.S. 2024, listed on the court docket as 29-939, the Supreme Court stated that presidents have essentially immunity to prosecution. Now, they did put some caveats in there. They said that only the acts done officially as official duties of the president are covered in that ruling. But let's face it, the guy doesn't much listen to anything or anyone when it comes right down to what any of that means. As far as he's concerned, he has absolute immunity. That's what he has always wanted, and that's pretty much what they gave him. That is his weapon. And that is everything that he is counting on. Understand that. He is counting on that ruling. Rulings can be overturned, and that one probably eventually will be. But everything he is doing is based on that supposition that as the president, he can do any damn thing he wants to do. Now, we all know that that's unconstitutional. We all know that's not how it's written. We all know that there is a triumvirate. We all know that our government has 3 co-equal branches, but he doesn't understand that, and he figures the Supreme Court gave him that power. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. I don't know. But I do know that there's been some serious pressure back. But if you want proof about him feeling that way, he reposted a thing. He who saves his country violates no law. Napoleon said that. That is a quote from Napoleon when he named himself emperor. That quote was also used by Anders Breivik. It was in a manifesto that he wrote. Now, in 2011. Now, if you don't remember that name, I don't blame you, but it's one you should think about. He quoted that very same thing when this Norwegian avowed racist and terrorist and Nazi, he has He's an avowed Nazi. He has said that straight up. I am a Nazi. That's the guy. But he killed 77 people in Oslo with a bombing, car bombing. And a crime, according to him, was to save the nation from, now listen to this for a moment. This is Anders Breivik's manifesto, and in court, where he claimed he did what he did was to save the nation from political correctness, cultural Marxism, leftists, Muslims, black people, and feminism. He also expressed deep admiration for Vladimir Putin. Any of that sound familiar? Any of that sound familiar to you? Now, this was back in 2011 when this terrorist did this in Norway, but any of it sound familiar? And today, and something that, I don't know, might have been said by what I consider to be one of the most illegitimate presidents we've ever had, it should sound familiar. Look at Trump's accomplishments so far. And this does not include, the list I'm about to go through is nowhere near all of them, but it does not include his most recent travesty, where he basically told Ukraine, you shouldn't have started the war. Putin invaded them. Putin annexed Crimea, sovereign territory of Ukraine, then started attacking when Ukraine said, no, you can't have that. And the sanctions started coming. But now, rather than sanctioning, rather than helping an early democracy that's really coming along and doing the right thing that all of the EU is doing, rather than following that up, Trump is picking a fight with the guy and telling him, you shouldn't have invaded Ukraine. Are you shitting me? But that isn't even on this list today. Let's talk about some of his executive orders. I'll give you their titles. Unleashing American Energy. You know what it does? It removes all things that we've been doing to do something with sustainable energy. Freezing funds for sustainable energy. First of all, that's unconstitutional. That's not within the purview of his presidential duties. Hello, Donald Devin, and everybody else that has shown up. Also, he has declared a national energy emergency. Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? No, it's not. Because in it specifically is just drill, baby, drill, and excludes solar and wind. It's all about fossil fuel money. The only emergency is that his rich buddies aren't making quite enough, milking us to death. So that's our national energy emergency. Oh, America first in environmental agreements. Took us out of the Paris Climate Accord. We knew he was going to do that, but he just takes away whatever regulations protecting, let's say, Alaska and other wilderness areas. Why? First of all, we don't need to do that. We are not using all of the leases that are out there. Yeah, the land's been leased in a lot of places. They're not pumping from it, not because it's not dry, not because it's dry, not because the oil isn't there. It's just, oh, well, good, we've got this in our back pocket. We've got more than enough already there, but here, let's take away all these protections for the environment. Ending the weaponization of government. That one just about makes me puke. I don't know anybody that has weaponized government in such a short time as what this man has done. All of this is part of the layoffs. And those layoffs are already killing us and are actually killing people. But let's end the weaponization of government. Reforming the federal hiring program. This is a good one. Hiring people that support his agenda, whether they're qualified or not. Let's think about who he's put into positions of power and how unqualified they are. But that's his whole thing about reforming the federal hiring program. Yeah, he's only going to hire the best and brightest. He's so far pretty much hired Larry, Curly, and Moe, and they were probably smarter. This one really gripes my ass. Ending DEI. An executive order. The first thing I want to know in ending DEI, do you understand what it means? Do you understand what those 3 letters stand for? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. My next question then is, what do you got against diversity, equity, and inclusion? How's that a bad thing? Because he turned this into a rallying cry for his racist base. That's what it's been. Calling Kamala Harris a DEI hire. Pretty much saying the same sort of thing about anybody that doesn't agree with him that doesn't happen to be Lily White. That's a DEI hire. But we need to remember where that came from. All of this started in the civil rights movement back in the 60s and even before that. DEI came about as a part of that, not for the thing that he's saying. The way they're talking about it is, all of these qualified white people are being just completely passed over because this other person that isn't as qualified got the job. That isn't how it's structured. That isn't what's happening. These practices were put into place so that the unqualified white guy didn't automatically get the job just because he was a white guy. It's the absolute opposite of what they're claiming and what it's done. What the hell are you thinking? And it also protects not only black people and brown people and people from other nations, but disabled people and women. Remember I'm going to protect you whether you like it or not? Sure you are. That too was originally put into place so that if a qualified woman goes for the job, it isn't just given to an unqualified guy. That's the whole point. But that's a bad thing. One that hits home for me personally. Defending women from gender ideology extremes. Boil that one down. All he's really saying is trans people don't exist. There's only 2 sexes. They're male and female. That's not true. Science tells us that's not true. And the psychological aspects behind it. Gender dysphoria, it's real. Look it up. You can find a lot about it. Trans people are real. The whole point in defending women from gender ideology extremes is just to let's make believe these people don't exist. If we had our way, we'd kill them. That's what he'd do. One of the best ones. Establishing the Department of Government Efficiency. In other words, let's just hand this over to a South African immigrant that came here illegally, but ended up turning into the richest man in the world. Hasn't that been a blessing? Where's the proof? And why the richest guy is the one that is over this? Although they're trying to say now that he's not over it. This is him playing with the laws. And nothing more. It's him playing with the laws. Meanwhile, the richest guy in the world keeps getting $8 million a day. Conflict of interest much? I guess not. One that is pure racism. Restoring names to honor American greatness. Turning it into the Gulf of America. Wanting to buy Greenland and call it Red, White, and Blue Land. Wanting to rename Mount Denali, which is a native name, back to Mount McKinley. Because McKinley was such a great president. Guys, look up McKinley's record, and you're going to figure out a thing. Why the dumb bastard ended up getting assassinated. But somehow, when you look at his time as president until he was assassinated, you find out just how fucking bad he was. And by the way, a lot of what he's doing, what Trump is doing, emulates the guy. I wish it had emulated the whole way. No, I don't wish that. That's not how we do things. But I do want to talk about how we do things. Because there is some hope out there. There have been birthright citizenship, 4 separate lawsuits have resulted in judges blocking Trump's executive order there. And they've got all of their stupid reasons why, oh, well, this is why we have to do this. You don't have to do this. Giving Doge Treasury access. A whole lot of states and a whole lot of unions have filed lawsuits trying to make sure that Elon Musk doesn't become the de facto president. Good lawsuits. They're there. I think maybe some of them will work up. Donald, you might be right. Putin probably is the richest in the world, but they don't count it that way. One of the big things in all of that with Doge is usurping legislative authority and trying to block payments to states that didn't vote for him. Great. Special counsel removal. This was another one. This was Hampton Dellinger sued the Trump administration for being fired. A judge has let him stay in his position. Let's keep going with that sort of thing. This is crazy. FBI employees, many of them fired. That's gone to court too. Guys, we need these people. We need the people that know what the hell they're doing. I don't care if you think that they're the deep state. These are real Americans. You're not. The spending freeze. 2 judges issued restraining orders on that. Now, almost immediately, 2 judges stepped on that, and we're going to see more of that. This is not a thing that, I mean, his holdbacks aren't constitutional. We've already proved that in the Supreme Court, remember? Federal worker buyout. It's another one that he's just not following the rules. So another judge has said no. No, you can't do it that way. Good. Let's have these judges keep rolling. U.S. aid. Now there's a big one. U.S. aid put out there by Congress. Once again, the power of the purse. Who holds that? House of Representatives. So you're just usurping them. You're saying, no, I'm the king. That's all you're doing. Almost all of these, their answer is the court lacks jurisdiction. Who does have jurisdiction? To him, only him. HHS data sets, stuff that, information that is supposed to be going to doctors, all of that, shut it down. There's now been granted a temporary restraining order on this, that, you can't do that. It's taking down all of these web pages and data sets. That's illegal. You can't do it. NIH cost rates, the National Institute of Health, halted by a federal judge. NIH is carefully steward grant awards to ensure taxpayer dollars are used in ways that benefit the American people and improve their quality of life. That's just what they do. And a judge in Massachusetts blocked the rate change that they were looking at. Transgender prisoners, another one, halted by a federal judge. Look, folks, trans people exist. Trust me, I know this. I also know it's hard for you to wrap your head around. But trans people are not in women's prisons trying to rape women. You don't agree with it because it doesn't fit your comfy little definition of gender. It's the whole thing. But a judge has said no. Many gender-related issues, 2 judges have issued temporary restraining orders blocking that one. Foreign aid pause. Once again, you don't get to say, nope, we're not giving out any foreign aid. That has been shut down. It violates the Constitution in so many ways. All you have to do is look it up. Anyway, all of these things are happening in courts, and they are going somewhere. Will we win on them? I don't know, but at least there are judges that are standing up and doing something. That's what you need to do as well. And I'm not just talking about, oh, help me, send a few dollars my way. I'm talking about really helping out. One of the things that I fight the most here in this red-ass county is having 5 or 6 people show up at the Democratic Party meeting. No, folks. Get your butts out there. Find out when it is. Go to the Democratic Party meeting. Listen. Find out who the candidates are. Find out about them. Find out about their platforms. Show up. Do something. You're going to have to get in the streets and do it anyway. Show up to the things where you're with friends. Show up to where you can make a difference. It's huge. I'm begging you. Don't sit this stuff coming up out. We won't win that way. All right. That's what I got, America. As I stated earlier, there are going to be 2 links on here. Could really use some help. There's some serious belt tightening going on here. I put quite a bit into these, and if you haven't noticed, I'm doing them a lot more frequently because I'm going to stay in this fight. Hair all screwed up and everything else. There's going to be stuff that's on the Amazon wish list that I could really use that will make my life a little simpler here. And monetary donations, I don't care if it's $5, $2, $1. The PayPal account is there. Whatever you can do, send it. Here as well, if you click on the stars, that does eventually make a difference. I think I have all of $3.73 coming from Facebook pretty soon. How about that? Anyway, that's what I got, America. I love you. Share this shit.